Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Grim Dawn, Ashes of Malmoth. So I know I've been absent for some time now and it's because our puppy finally did go through surgery. So we had to take about a 3-hour drive to take him to the surgeon and he did get a right hip replacement surgery done. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that I will be trying to upload and stream when I can. It may not be as consistent during this time period because he will be recovering for about 3 months and it's going to be like strict kenneling and just watching him for that time period while he heals. So I just wanted to take a minute to thank everybody who has donated or who has shared his story or just given us positive support along the way. It's really appreciated, guys. It's a debt I can't ever repay, and I don't want it to go unnoticed, and I just want everyone to know that it really means a lot to me and my family, and especially to Tyr. You gave him his life back, everybody who helped out. So thank you again so much. And if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below. I can even do little videos updating how he's doing, show you his progress. If anyone is interested in that, let me know. All right, so I'm glad to be back. I'm going to be talking about my Cabalist today. And boy, am I excited. So I have had time to play in between a little bit while this has all been going on. That's about it, though. And I've been updating all of my classes and trying things out and really trying to maximize the potential of the characters that I have at 100. So I'm actually in a position right now to where my Cabalist is very, very durable. The pets are a lot more durable, and I'm really happy with it. And you can see all my items have changed. I tried the Mantle of Lost Soul set, and I was thoroughly unimpressed. I did not care for it at all. I just was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not doing this. All right, so let's go over skills real quick, guys. And then we'll go over the items, and then we'll go over the devotion. So on skills, as we can see, we have 4 out of 10 of Curse of Frailty, 10 out of 10 vulnerability. Blood of Dreeg is 19 out of 16. Really good, obviously, for the healing and OA and all the good stuff that comes with that. This also supplies your pets with flat acid damage. So oddly enough, some people like to call this pet setup the Rainbow Cabalist or the Rainbow Pet build. The reason that is because there are lots of damage types and sources we're getting with this setup. Now, I know that one of the highest DPS potential pet builds is going to be the Lightning Cabalist, but personally, I've kind of played around with both, and I like this one the most, so this is what I'm doing. 12 out of 12 on the aspect of the Guardian. 1 point into Familiar, as always, and then Storm Spirit max as high as it can go. We have 1 point in Bonds Abysmal, max Manipulation as high as it can go. You don't necessarily have to do that, that's more of just personal preference for me, probably. Summon Hellhound 1 point, and then max the Hellfire Aura. So as you can see here, we're getting a huge chaos damage to your pets and party, to everybody who around you basically. So this is going to be another damage source for your pets, as well as boosting fire damage, chaos damage, and burn damage for pets, right? So it's a pretty good little buff. Both these buffs together are really strong. Also with this, you're getting elemental resistance, so that's really good for your pets, your allies, and yourself. On Necromancer's side, as you can see, we have raised skeletons as high as possible. I have Undead Legion at 16 out of 12 right now currently, because I can't pump this high enough to get a 7th skeleton, which would give me 10. But right now, this is what I have to do, and it's working just fine. I did run 10 skeletons for a bit, but I had to give up 1 for the setup that I'm currently using, and I'll show you why here in a second. Will of the Crypt is maxed out as high as it can go. Probably don't have to do this, but since skeletons are one of our primary damage sources, I like to increase their damage as much as possible. The percent elemental damage increase, the flat vitality, percent vitality, all that stuff is really useful in my opinion. So I have 8 out of 12 on Spectral Binding. I believe that's a 1-pointer. And then 1 point into Spectral Wrath. So this is just a little additive. Anything that hits me, it drops their physical, drops their vitality, and Aether Resist. So it's just a little bit of a debuff for your pets while subs hitting you. Summon Blight Fiend, he's 14 out of 16. Arguably, you could drop 2 points out of Will of the Crypt and put him here, or maybe even pump that even higher if you wanted to. And the reason that is because he is one of your tankier pets, so putting him as high as possible can make him much more durable. And keep in mind this is all unbuffed right now, so his health will go up when I put all my buffs on. Rotting Fumes, 20 out of 12. Super important ability, I think. It's dropping the enemy defensive ability. Chance to fumble and impair their melee and range attacks, which is really nice. 11 out of 12 on Blight Burst. I believe this is a 1-pointer, and we're getting a lot of plus skills from this. From items, so again, for a 1-pointer, absolutely fantastic. It does really decent damage, and it's an AoE pulse that confuses all targets it hits for 2 seconds. 10 out of 10 on Call of the Grave. I don't pump this higher than 10 typically. The scaling past 10 isn't terrible, but I just don't think it's necessary, so I don't usually do that. And then we have 12 out of 12 on Master of Death. Again, the scaling past 12 on this is really not that great, so I try not to pump it much higher than 12. Alright, so let's go over items real quick. Also, the appearance of my Necro has changed. It looks pretty awesome. I dig it. But let's go over items real quick. So, Claw of Hagaraz is actually really good. It's probably one of the best main hand weapons you can use for the Cabalist setup when you're running the Occultist Necromancer trees. And that's because you're getting +1 Occultist, +1 Necromancer. So that's going to be really useful, as well as, getting all the bonus damage. You can craft these, you can get them from the Barrel Home reputation when you're revered. So definitely worth using if you're running this setup. I'm probably going to craft a few more here soon to see if I can get some better rolls. But it's a super good weapon for this setup. I'm using the Seal of Might on my main hand and offhand. So we're not really getting much from the physical damage and all that, but we are getting the bonus health, which is 160. And we're also getting the presence of might. So you can only have one of these auras up at a time, but the static buffs that it provides for you are really nice for survivability. The extra health is really nice. So that's why I chose to do this. As you can see, the bonus to all pets is you get physical resistance, pierce resist, vitality resist, bleed resist. And then I'm using the Ravager's Eye in my main hand and offhand. And again, that's going to give you as a player health, defensive ability, and then bonus damage to pets and offensive ability. So this setup is really durable. It's fantastic. Fate Weaver's Raiment is amazing for this setup. As you can see, it puts an aura out that gives you and your party resistances, which is super good. So we're getting 5% physical resist, pierce, poison, vitality, aether, chaos, elemental, and bleed resist. That works for you and your pets. And anyone else that's in your party, of course. Have his sacred plating here, getting the health, armor absorption, vitality, aether resist, and then we're using the Mammoth Soul Guard powder. Mythical Wildshorn leggings. So these will be changing as soon as I find the item that I'm looking for. So I'm basically looking for any green pants that have of the Cage Souls suffix on it. And the reason that is because it's going to give your pets bleed resist. So I will still get a little damage out of it, but it's more important for the bleed resist. Once I do find those, my pets' resistances should be all maxed across the board. And then in the future, I can show you how you can actually push your pet resist probably up to about 90, 95 all across the board resistance-wise. And anyway, these changes have made the Cabalist super durable, including the pets, and that's one thing that I was really going for. As you can see, I'm using Mutated Scales and then the Mammoth Soul Guard powder. Mock Jogan's Ardor is phenomenal. Now, I know there's a lot of options here. In fact, I do keep some other relics with me. I don't typically ever use them. Sometimes I will just to have fun or play around, but really the best relic for you with this setup is Mogdrogan's Ardor, and the reason that is because it's that +1 to all skills. That's really hard to pass up. I mean, you're getting 1 skills to Occultist, 1 skills to Necromancer, and it's stuff like this that really allows you to push up those skeletons and pump out as many skeletons as you can. So it's super hard to pass up, as well as, getting some nice bonuses for your pets there. And then the aura that you can cast with this is really nice. Gives your pets a lot of decent buffs as well as you. Mythical Shadow Fiend's Cord. This is insanely good for a blue item, and I'm glad that I found it. So if you can get one of these, definitely use one of these. Getting some decent resist, all damage, OA for pets, always good. And then the 1 skills to Necromancer and Occultist, as you can see, is super, super important. Got the Ugnabog letter there and the Covenant of Black Ash. I'm still using the Overseer. This could potentially change. This is more of a offensive, defensive metal for you and your pets. But there are other options if you wanted to. You could make yourself more durable. You could use something that boosts your resistances or pushes your max resist to a certain point. But honestly, for what it is, it's a fantastic metal, and I would highly recommend using it. In fact, I'll probably roll some new ones, try to get different rolls if I can, but yeah, really good. Mythical Fiend Flesh Greaves, really, really good, hard to pass up. The reason these are so good, one of the main reasons, is the Fiend Flesh. That thing is a huge damage absorption, and boy, it makes you durable, so it's hard to pass up. As you can see, I'm using Mark of Mandrogan, Covenant of Black Ash. Mythical Overlord's Iron Grips. Again, really durable for you and your pets. Super strong. Decent pet stat bonuses there. Using the Mutated Scales and Covenant of Black Ash there. Mythical Fiend Flesh Mantle. Obviously, this goes without saying, much like the boots. Really good stats for you and your pets all around. And then obviously getting the 10,000 damage absorption shield when hit. It's amazing, hard to pass up. Sacred Plating and then Covenant of Black Ash there. Using the Mythical Reaper of the Accursed. Now, one thing you could do is you could swap this out for the Eye of Domination. The Eye of Domination lets your pets have 15% increase to their max resistances across the board. That's kind of what I was mentioning earlier. I'll go into more detail about that later, but as of right now I'm using this. This is a really good item. Obviously you're getting that bonus crit, the death save proc ability. You're getting 100 OA to call the grave, 1 skills to Necromancer. It's really good overall, it's just hard to pass up. So I'm using the Silhamite there, and I'm also using Ravager's Eye in this. Amulet, Mythical Sovereign Ruby, Domination. Probably, pound for pound, one of the best pet amulets in the game. Obviously there's some other choices and variants, but this is really strong, hard to pass up. Mythical Necro Lord's Gaze. I crafted this, I actually found a blueprint for this, and again, it's super good, hard to pass up. There are other options here for you if you would like to have them. One thing that was really nice about this helmet is I managed to roll the 4% increase to physique from the blacksmith that I made it from, and then on top of that I'm using the Titan plating, and that's giving me another 3% physique increase. So I'm getting 7% physique increase just from this one item. Decent DA, decent resist, and then obviously 1 skills Necromancer. So this is a fantastic item for this setup in my opinion, but there are other choices, and I will cover that more later. So you can see I'm using the Mankind's Vigil as the component. Using the Mythical Void Whisper Band. Now this is a pretty cool ring, I actually like this a lot. So it does add flat chaos to pets, it does boost percent chaos damage on pets, and then it converts 100% of their physical damage into chaos when this proc is active. So it's kind of a unique, cool ring. It does some interesting things for the build. I did try running 2 of these and playtesting it. It did not appear that this would proc and stack twice, much like the Conjurer Lightning Pet setup does with the other rings, the Lightning rings. Forget the name, it's complicated. But so I would normally probably run 2 of these, but because it did not appear that they would stack and proc at the same time, I decided using one was good enough. And the other ring I'm using is a Mythical Spirit Binder Glyph. Same concept, really good ring for what it is. Gives your pets decent OA, decent resist for you, health, a lot of good stats for you as the player. And then your pets get crit damage, vitality damage increase, vitality decay, and then offensive ability. On both these rings, I'm using the Corpse Dust, and I'm using the Mogdrogan's Blessing. That pretty much covers everything. If you need to pause the video and view the items to see what components and augments I have, please feel free to do so. Let's go over Devotion real quick. Alright, so I'm going to try to explain better how I did this, because a lot of people in the comments get confused as to how I do this sometimes, and that's fair, because this can be complex and very strange. So as you can see, I have Staff of Ratosh, I have Panther, I have Ulo, Keeper of the Waters. This is really good. I've actually been wanting to work this into my Cabalist build for some time, and finally managed to do it. Figured out how to do it, so I'm happy about that. Running Fiend, as always, on Skeletons. This is a must. There is no argument here. Definitely have to put Fiend on Skeletons. That's one of your highest DPS outputs. So something that I figured out that I wasn't aware of is that there's actually a bug, right? So whenever you see this and this says the damage that it does, this is showing damage that scales off you as the player from your stats, but this actually scales off the pet damage bonuses and abilities. So this actually does a lot more damage than what it says. So keep that in mind. When you link something to a pet, it's actually going to scale off the pet bonuses and damage. Same as Eldritch Fire, for example. Just keep that in mind. Alright, so you see I have Soul's Witchblade. Have Raven. Raven is just, again, really decent stats overall, OA, and giving our pets some bonus lightning damage. Since our pets are doing a lot of elemental damage, this isn't a bad damage increase at all. And then obviously you're getting the 15% all damage anyway, so this is a really good constellation for what it is, and then on top of that it lets us move on down where we need to go. Shepherd's Crook is always really important. Manticore, so this one is pretty interesting. So we have Manticore, and they did make some changes to this over time. Previously, when I used to use this, way back when, it didn't really have a lot of pet bonuses on it, but it does now. Has pet bonus poison damage, which is good for obviously your Blight Fiend, which I have equipped to this. You have pet percent health, pet OA, some decent resistances, and then obviously, like I said, I have this equipped to Blight Fiend. So this ability is really decent, and what's so important about this is that it's dropping enemies' resistances flat, period. So this will drop all of their resistances across the board. Since this is considered a multi-damage type pet build, this is not a bad constellation at all. You're going to be dropping resistances across the board. It's going to be boosting damage for your pets overall. Really decent. Obviously, Mogdrogan the Wolf. Obviously, you get a lot of good bonuses here. This puts your pets into a frenzy, gives them huge OA boost and total speed, stacks really well with manipulation. So Wolverine is probably one of the more important constellations out of this setup. Obviously, this is giving your pets bleed and pierce resist. It's hard to pick up with a Cabalist, so it's very important, as well as boosting your DA and pets DA. So that's really nice. Very, very good and worth picking up. Alright, so let's go over Devotion real quick and what I did. This can be very complex, and I understand, so I'm going to do my best to explain exactly what I did. I'm going strictly off memory, so if I make a mistake, bear with me, and leave a message in the comments below, and I will try to correct that. So, if I remember correctly, I put a point into the yellow crossroads. I took Panther. Once you complete this, it'll give you 2 yellow constellation plus this one, making it 3, and then it also gives you 3 blue, right? So then, I come over here, I put a point to the red crossroads and finish Fiend. This gives you the 3 red that's necessary for Staff of Ratosh. Then what I did is I came over here and I put 3 points into Ill. This will put you over the 6 for Staff of Ratosh. In fact, you should be at 8 blue by the time you do that. Then you come over here and you finish out Staff of Ratosh. Once you complete Staff of Ratosh, you'll get 2 red, 2 blue. So you go from having 8 blue to having 10 blue, and you should have 4 red at that point, while keeping the 3 yellow. So then what we do is we go back, and you can drop out the 3 from Ill, because you're dropping out 5 from the 10, if I remember correctly, with the 1 point still in the blue down here, and that'll put you at 6 to keep this. Then we come over here and we grab Olo Keep the Waters, and then this will actually allow you to have 3 blue, 2 yellow. And then you can come over here and take out the blue from the blue crossroads, and that's how you can basically utilize that and then move on further in the tree. Once that's completed, you should be able to come over here, put a point into the green crossroads, and then you're going to grab Raven. That should put you at 6, so you should be at 4 red, 6 green. You can grab Slow's Witchblade. Then you can drop the green out of the crossroads, because you have 1 providing from the Slow's Witchblade here. Then after that, you can come over here. You can grab Quill. Once you grab Quill, because you do have 1 green affinity, you can then grab Shepherd's Crook. Once you grab Shepherd's Crook, this should allow you to come over here and grab Manticore as well. So you want to put all your points into Manticore that you can. Come over here, grab Wolverine, and then once you do that, that should put you at the purple affinity that you need to come over here and grab Mogdrogan the Wolf, so then you max that out. That's basically how I did that. This is the setup that I'm currently using. If that seems confusing at all, please try to leave me a message in the comments below, and I will do my best to help you further with that. Alright, I know that's a lot of information, but yeah. So let's get into why I chose these devotions and what's good about them. First of all, let's go ahead and get all my pets out, get all my buffs going. Alright. So as we can see, with the familiar out and with the auras going, my resistances are not struggling by any means. And then obviously for Blood of Dreeg, that'll push you over your poison acid cap. Give you a bunch of other bonus effects that are really good. You can see all my resistances are doing really well. This is what we want. You kind of want to overcap, honestly, if you're planning on fighting harder bosses in the game. And that's because a lot of monsters and bosses in the game will drop your resistances. So that's really important to have that. You can see my health is right around 15k. It might change a little bit. I'll probably drop the corpse dust out of my rings for Runebound Topaz. So I might lose a little HP because it's not percent HP, but I am still gaining flat HP, and then I'm gaining tons of defensive ability. By the time I'm done, I should have this pushed up over 2700 DA, because the chance for me to be hit and crit will greatly decrease, and that's going to be really important for survivability as a player. So as we can see, I have 9 skeletons. Got all my auras going. These auras are really, really beneficial, especially this one here, like I was talking about earlier, Presence of Might. Super good buff for you and your pets. This comes from my Relic. This is giving my pets health, total speed, armor, as well as giving me some total speed. Obviously, this comes from the Spectral Binding, more HP. That's really the most important thing from this. We just want the health. And then the Prismatic Aura comes from the chest armor, so this is huge buffs for you and your pets. A lot of good resistances. Now, what's important about using the Ulos Keeper of Water on the Doom Bolt is you get cleansing water. So what this more or less theoretically does is it turns your Doom Bolt into a nullification. What's really neat about this is if you're having your pets tank something or fight something in the front lines for you, you can run your pets up to that target, and then you can drop Doom Bolt in that area. What it does is it removes beneficial auras and effects from enemies, as well as removing negative effects from your minions. This is really useful whenever you're trying to clear through the game and kill certain monsters and bosses. In fact, a lot of the caster human monsters in the game For example, these here, they'll have shields or auras. If you watch when I hit him with the Doom Bolt, it'll drop it off. As you can see, his shield falls off, and then he gets torn apart. So it's really useful. It's a super good skill, and it theoretically boosts your DPS by quite a bit. Alright, so that was a lot of information. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to do some update future videos showing you guys what this build can do, its max potential, showing you Nemesis boss fights, things like that. It's a very good build, very durable, and it's not fully optimized yet, but I'm getting there, so bear with me. And I will have new builds out soon. I have some builds I have worked on and completed to 100. They still need fine-tuning and whatnot, but yeah, a lot of good stuff on the way. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch my content. Like I said, in the description below, I will leave a link to the Grim Tools. I'll leave a link to Tier's GoFundMe if you guys are interested in donating. That would be awesome. If you can't, even sharing your story means a lot to me. And I do try to stream daily. If I'm not on, bear with me. The dog's healing. So, all right, guys. As always, thank you for taking time to watch my content. I greatly appreciate it. Everybody have a wonderful day and take care.